Hello everyone, this is the Mind of Lilith and welcome to another Open Mind Intuitive Tarot message. For this message, I want to find out what you guys need to do to get unstuck. I've been receiving the same messages for my general readings for the past several weeks, I would say, and this to me indicates that there's a stuck energy among my audience or the collective. And so you may be stuck mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically stuck. So the purpose of this reading is to find out what you need to do to get to the next level, to elevate, to be free of something. There's some baggage, the box. Yes, Saturn energy, stuck in the box. Self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt. This is very rigid energy. You guys have put yourself in a box, or your perspective about life, your experiences, your opportunities, your disappointments are limiting. There's something that's limiting here. You haven't learned your lesson, or let me say this. How am I going to say this? The reason why you're stuck in the box is because you have not learned your lesson. The experience is over, right? Whatever you went through that put you in this space of stuckness, that is over. But for some reason, you're still stuck on the past, because you haven't learned your lesson, or you don't understand things from a higher perspective. You could still be bitter about something. Not letting it go, resentful, you want someone back or want something back to the way it was. Stuck in the past, Saturn energy. You're blocked. You're blocking yourself. I think this box is self-inflicted. I think you've gone through a lot of trauma, losses, and disappointments in your life. And that has kind of put you in a jar, a glass jar. You're in a glass jar, and I guess you've been under very controlled, structured, limiting circumstances for a long time. You could have been in an abusive relationship with your parents or your spouse for many years. And you have been programmed and conditioned to think a certain way that is very limiting. This is a self-imposed prison. You have to get out of this box. Tear the box down, unless you like living here. Some of you enjoy living in this box because it's secure. It's familiar to you. Like a cat who has access to your whole beautiful home, its own cat bed, but it wants to sleep in the box. The cat wants to sleep in the box. And you're like, why are you in this little box? I bought you, your own little cat bed. You have all this nice stuff to sleep on. Why are you in this little box? Some of you guys are comfortable being here. If you're comfortable in this box, why are you watching tarot readings? Because your life isn't changing. Nothing is going to change as long as you stay in this box. So are you hoping that the readings will tell you that things are going to change without you actually doing the work to change your circumstances? This is your self-imposed prison. The universe isn't doing this to you. Yes, you did meet people, or you did go through situations where you were controlled by a parent or a spouse. But I'm guessing that you guys are no longer married and you're grown. You're free, but not mentally. That's why you're not elevating. The venom, bitterness. The moon is here. Okay, spirit guys, I need some protection. Ooh. Okay. I got chills. Ooh, this is nasty energy. This is rage, bitterness, jealousy. This is negative. This is like low vibrational shadow demon energy. I'm not saying you're demonic. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have experienced severe trauma and abuse that has perhaps warped you psychologically. You're seeing enemies everywhere, paranoid, fearful of life, insecure. This is you. That's what you don't know. These fangs are your fangs, and it's devouring the moon. This is somebody feels haunted by their past. They feel like their exes are haunting them. Their exes may be haunting them energetically. I'm going to say this. Some of you were the victim of narcissistic abuse over an extended period of time. This is a narcissist devouring the moon. A narcissistic mother. There was narcissism in the home. This is gnarly energy. Very nasty. You're going to have to fight to get out of this space. You may have been raised by jealous people, violent people, bitter, vindictive, jealous, violent, vindictive, selfish. This is a predator within the home. This is Lilith in Cancer. The mother who devours her own children. This is very difficult energy to get through, and you're not going to be free of this. You can't look to someone else to free you of this. Whoever did this to you, they're not going to free you from this. They put you in this cage psychologically. Now they're gone. Either they're dead or they're just not around you anymore. You're not under their guardianship, but they abused you so badly that you are scared of the world. You're scared of yourself. There could be severe mental health issues here, bipolar disorder, potentially severe depression, a split personality. This is gnarly energy. And it was passed down generationally. This is Saturn square Mars, Saturn conjunct Mars, Saturn opposing Mars, Saturn on the south node. Nasty. Saturn and Pluto. Very nasty energy. You see the fangs around the moon? This is your guardians, the people who were supposed to protect you ended up devouring you instead. They attacked you. They abused you. You had no safe space anywhere. And now they're gone, but the impact remains. You have to deprogram yourself to get out of this box. These people were not your friend. You have to see the people who did this to you as enemies, not as lovers, not as misguided people. You have given your power away to people who did not give a damn about you. People who you thought you loved or who thought loved you, they just used you as a source of energy to keep you in this box under their control, like a caged animal. Some of you guys were treated like a caged animal in your relationship or in your childhood home. You were treated as if you were nothing. Jeez. This is rough. You guys are going to need to go to therapy. You're going to have to work through this unless you enjoy being here. Some people enjoy being victims. It gives them an identity. Poor me, woe is me. The world hates me. Nobody loves me. My mom abused me. My dad abused me. So why are you watching tarot readings? Because your circumstances will not change unless you change them. You're stuck in this, I ain't even going to say it, it's like a mental curse. The programming has become a mental curse. You have to break out of that. The way to get away from Saturn energy is Jupiter and the North Node. Jupiter represents opportunities, optimism, belief, and faith, courage, wisdom. Someone's world is so dark and so small. It's like their light has been snuffed out or is very dim because of this. This is awful. Look at this. This is dog fangs over devouring the moon, which is the mother, the home. Your home was a place of savage energy. It was not safe. There was abuse of all kinds in this home. And it kind of puts you in this curse. Not curse like witchcraft, hoodoo, candle magic. No, it was energetic and psychological. The people that raised you or who were around you or who you were living with were using dark magic psychologically, maybe even sexually, maybe even physically. They broke you down to nothing to keep you under their control. They had to, some of you were raised by a narcissist who pretended to love you because they were your mother or your father or your spouse. Because this is the moon, the home, the family, what's familiar to you. You were raised by a pack of wolves. I keep mentioning that when I talk about certain family dynamics where nobody is safe. Everybody's in the streets, addicts, drugs, no one's protected. There's no value in human life, or children are not allowed to be children here. Children are not even safe. The adults are protecting themselves more than their own children. Raised by a pack of animals or wolves. That's what it feels like. Nobody cares about anybody. It's all about my survival. This is nasty energy. And you were sacrificed for these people. They didn't love you. You think they did. It's almost like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You need to believe that they loved you for this to make sense. Why would I be born into a family of demons who didn't love me? That's not always the case. Just because you're born to a mother and a father and you love somebody doesn't mean that they're entitled to love you back. A lot of people give birth to their children who they hate. And again, this is like possession, being spiritually possessed. There's something in the bloodline that is very nasty. And it's more so psychological. It's like, for example, suppose your family is rabid. You're born in a rabid family. Okay? There are no rules, there's no protection, there's no security, there's nothing. Rabid family. Everybody's out to get each other. You can't trust anybody. Dog eat dog. That's what this is, including the children. What do they need to do to you to get you to sacrifice yourself for them? They had to break you down at every level to get you to be a willing sacrifice for them. This is a jealous parent. This is an abusive, narcissistic parent. This is a jealous. This is every level. This is Saturn and Pluto, Saturn and Mars. Mars in the 4th house, potentially Pluto in the 4th house, Pluto in the angles, Pluto aspecting the moon, square the moon, opposing. This is, you're born into a family of like, of, I don't want to say of demons. I don't want to say all that, but there could have been mental illness in the family. This is mental illness. I'm getting mental illness from this card. And that mental illness kind of limited, it made you paranoid or fearful. It traumatized you. You may have CPTSD, a dissociative identity disorder. I'm not a therapist. Multiple personality disorder. And you are very angry. And because you have been disempowered, you don't know how to express that anger, and now it's trapped in a box. Now you feel helpless. You feel powerless. These people were evil. I don't care what they said to you. I don't care what their relationship was to you. This is an evil person. They had to break you down to put your light in this box. And we see here this red light, which is the root chakra, at a primal level, at your very core. You were not allowed to feel stable, safe, secure, protected in your home because you were surrounded by a pack of wolves. Uncles, cousins, father, it was just, that's why you're stuck. This is not for everybody. This is, I'm going extreme here because you have extreme levels of narcissism and sociopathy in families and mental illness, and you have lesser levels. But either way, you were put in a box. Your light was put in a box. It was consumed by these energy vampires. That's why you're stuck. You have to use the power of Jupiter to get out of this. What is Jupiter? Where is Jupiter in your natal chart? I don't know where it is. I can't tell you. Your Jupiter tells you how to get out of this box. And your part of fortune. You have to look at your natal chart. And the North Node. Yikes. What the hell is this? This is, it's almost like, I'm going to say this. Listen, some of us are born to be food, or we're born to entities and people who are soul, spiritual parasites. There's some possession. It's like being born to a person who's been possessed by an entity and they don't know it. And that entity is just there to devour whatever's in its path. It doesn't like children. It doesn't like happiness. It doesn't like peace or creativity. It's just there to consume and devour. This is like, I don't want to say demonic possession, but there's something nasty here. And you are the only one that can break out of this if you want to. If you don't want to, you'll stay here and continue to be consumed and devoured by this venom, by this damn shadow demon, which could be negative memories, being brainwashed and programmed to hate yourself, being brainwashed and programmed to give your power away to people who don't like you, to people who hate you, who are jealous of you, who want to destroy you. And you're there you're there helpless because you're their child or their spouse. So your trust was broken at a fundamental level by the very people who were supposed to protect you and take care of you. And now this could be severe mental illness. And some of you guys may be tempted to harm yourselves to get out of this, to stop feeling like this. I don't want you to do that. You don't have to do that. There are other ways of escaping the pain. You have to use Jupiter to do that. Now, your Jupiter may be afflicted by Saturn too. That is true, which means that the way you were treated by authority figures and or your parents, it made you lose faith in God because things suck so badly for so long. It's like, how can God exists if I'm being treated like this? How can there be a God if they let this happen to me? I don't want to cry. Somebody is saying that. How could there be God if they let this happen to me? You have to understand that just as God exists, these demons exist too. So the existence of these demons does not override the existence of God. They both exist, but you weren't protected. Your parents' job was to protect you from these entities, and they did not do that because they were possessed by them themselves. The jealousy, the anger, the bitterness, competition, this very nasty, horrible. And who the hell is this? Whoever this person is, you have to stop looking for them to love you or wanting them to accept you. It's not going to happen the way you think it is. And they're not in the position to do that. You have to look at God to love you. Look for God's love, which is not this at all. This prison. This is like a child being born in a cage with a wild dog. Even a wild dog has the sense to protect a baby. If you see, if you go on social media, you see people who have pets and they bring their babies around their pets. The dogs become protective. This is some other shit. Even an animal has a sense to protect the baby more than these people did. You need to get away from this energy by acknowledging first and foremost that these were not your parents. This was not your guardian. This was not this was something else that held you captive, and you have the right to fight back. You got to start getting angry, not with yourself, but with this energy. And in a way for you to get angry, this energy does not want you to believe in yourself. It doesn't want you to be successful. It doesn't want you to be happy. So to fight back against this jealous, wicked person, or these jealous, wicked people, you have to live the life that they didn't want you to live. For you to fight back against whatever this is, you have to live the life that they wanted you to live, that they did not want you to live. Somebody really is feeling tormented. Listen, I'll be honest. I'm a child of the 80s, and I know lots of people who grew up during the drug epidemic and the horror they went through in their own homes. The drug epidemic turned a lot of homes into this. Drug addiction turns loving, beautiful people into this demonic energy here. I will do anything. Look at this teeth. To get my high, to get my fix. I will destroy my own children to satisfy whatever this dark force is. This is a dark force. It doesn't have power over you because it is stronger than you. It has power over you because you were subject to it. You were under its control because it was put upon you by people you trusted. As soon as you start doing things that your parents or your haters don't want you to do, this venom thing loses its power. The people who were hating on you did not want you to live a life better than theirs. They were bitter about your existence. They were bitter about your light, your beauty, whatever you had, they didn't have. And so they broke you down. They took it from you. They wanted you to be small and dirty like them. Small, ignorant, jealous, dirty, and broken like them. There was all levels of abuse here. Sort of like the DeBarge family. The DeBarge family is an example of that. Where you have a home where the father is committing incest against his own children. Then the children attack each other. This is hell. This is mental illness. And you've internalized that. Now you're stuck in this box. It's time. You guys, listen. I know some of you guys are saying, if God loved me, how would he let this happen to me? God didn't let that happen to you. And you had to go through that experience to learn how to fight for yourself It was an initiation too. It was an initiation. You survived that. Now what's next? You can use your testimony to help other people going through the same thing, because you've survived and you're strong for it. Spirit guys, let's continue this message, please. What's going on with the collective? How can they get unstuck? How can they get unstuck from whatever this energy is? It's like a family curse. Memories, distracted, alcohol, drugs, obsession, beginnings, apology. The memories of the past, reminiscing, dwelling, bittersweet, obsession, infatuation, adoration, addiction. I'm seeing some sort of addictions here. An addiction to escapism, drugs, alcohol, sex, self-abuse, sidetracked, change, delays. This is what they wanted to happen to you. There are other forces involved that are not human. I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it a stack. Your parents or whoever you were involved with were also, they had demonic attachments. There's no way you can be like this and not have a demonic attachment. Some sort of shadow attached to them. Nasty energy. And the purpose of this demon was to keep you in this box, to keep you distracted from your purpose. Now you're obsessed about something you cannot change. It's like this, they put you in a warp, a time loop, a time warp, karmic obsession over the past. Now you're stuck. You're stuck. You keep thinking about what happened 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. Now you can't elevate, you can't advance, and these damn demons are preventing you from evolving to a state where they cannot feed off of you anymore. They're keeping you at a low vibration on purpose. You have to live the life that these people did not want you to live. Jupiter, expansion, growth, opportunities, learning, traveling, exploring the world. This is Saturn here that's keeping you in this box. These are the memories that are keeping you just stuck in this loop of what happened, that you have to get out of that. I mean, I don't want to get irritated because I'm starting to feel the irritation come up in my stomach. But if you don't change, then it's not going to change. Like, you're going to stay here unless you want to be here. If you want to stay here, then why are you watching readings? Because the readings are going to have the same message every single day. It's not going to change. Because you're not changing. These memories are keeping you distracted from a new beginning for yourself. And with this new beginning, whatever this, because your parents may be gone, or your ex may be gone, or whoever did this to you, they don't have control of you anymore. But the energies or entity that they're working through or for, they're still around. They're still feeding off of this. If you want this dirty bastard to win, then keep doing what you're doing. Stay in the box. You have to understand that you're in spiritual warfare. And I guess you were conditioned or raised to not fight back. You couldn't fight back when you were being abused. You couldn't fight back when you were being violated. You couldn't fight back when you were being disrespected and neglected. You could not fight back. You thought you couldn't. That was the conditioning. Don't fight back. Just take it. Just accept your fate to make it easier for this dirty demon to feed off of you. The demon can't feed off of you if you're not in the box, if you're not in the cage. If you're out doing your thing and living your life and being happy and free of all of this, if you're defining yourself, and not even that, if you don't feel indebted to or responsible for or pitiful for or pity for the people who did this to you, then you'll be free. Some of you guys still care about these people. That's the problem. You still care about them. You feel like if you're happy, they won't be happy. You'll feel guilty for being happy because you know they won't be happy. It's almost like a parent who sacrificed a lot for you. That's what they told you, to have a better life. And now you're guilty about having a better life because you know that that's what they wanted for themselves, and they're jealous. And so now you won't even do it. Something like that. You're still emotionally attached to the people who did not care about you in some way. You feel responsible for their happiness because that's what they train you to believe. You feel responsible for their happiness. You feel responsible for their peace. And so it's like, as long as you stay distracted and effed up, you won't threaten their happiness, whether they're here or not. They put a curse on you. Now, the curse card didn't show up here. This is a psychological or emotional curse. It's self-inflicted. So now it's like they trained you into being self-destructive, into hating yourself. Like slaves, right? The slaves were beaten into submission. They were trained to hate themselves. They were trained not to see beyond the scope of their circumstances. They were trained to think they were dumb. They were trained to give their energy to their enemy. That is black magic. Slavery was black magic. And the families who came out of this tradition, the families who were descendants of slaves, they also performed black magic on their own children to keep them from elevating so that the system can be fed, right? The capitalist system that is in service to these entities, to molecule whatever demons that feed off of human energy. This capitalist system was based off of you volunteering or giving your energy away to dark forces who don't care about you. You're just there for food and energy. That's it. They don't care about your evolution, your happiness, your growth. They don't care. You are food for them. So if your family came out of that tradition or that custom or that history where generations of them were enslaved and trained to be enslaved, when they see you loving, light, beautiful, intelligent, talented, everything that they were not allowed to be, they have been trained to devour this, destroy it. That's why when you go to certain communities in America, in the black neighborhoods especially, when people are really talented and intelligent, that light is squashed. They're attacked. They're bullied for being intelligent, for being talented, whatever. Not all the time, but in many cases. This is the curse of slavery being passed down from generation to generation. It's actually an entity that's attached to this bloodline because the energy was so concentrated. It became very hateful. It became its own source. It's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of materialized. The family is haunted by this here. Now nobody can trust anybody. I've heard of families like that where no one can trust anyone. You got siblings robbing from each other, parents robbing from their kids, parents abuse. It's just nobody can trust anybody. It's all about self-survival. F the children. The children are just food. They're here to serve us, to make our lives easier. Because we weren't able to have we weren't allowed to have a childhood of our own. So the people who treated you like this were also treated the same way. Also treated the same way. Let me get some other cards for more clarification. Which one should I choose? Give me a minute. This is a damn hater. But it's more so like psychological and emotional. It could be spiritual too, but your spirit attracts energies based on the way you think and the way you feel. Spirit guides, I need you to continue this message for the collective. How can the collective break free from this situation, from feeling stuck? How can they get unstuck? can they elevate into a space of happiness and freedom? Freedom from the past, freedom from generational curses, freedom from depression and self-hatred and jealousy. How can they break free of this? But you have to want it. If you don't want it, it's not going to happen. Some of you are comfortable being miserable and jealous and small. So I don't know why you're watching, and I'm getting a little bit irritated. I don't know why you're watching tarot readings if you have no intention of fixing this. If you're comfortable living in that box, the tarot readings are not going to do anything to change your fortune. You have to take action to do this. It's not going to happen for you. I'm reading the same messages every single day because people are thinking the same way every day. Regardless of what I say, this cannot happen without your participation, without your engagement, without you taking actionable steps to fix this problem. You're obsessed with the memories of what this was. And again, it's not all your fault because you went through severe abuse, almost like living in a cult. This is severe, consistent abuse. You have to reprogram your brain, reprogram your mind. Therapy, meditation, prayer, fasting, exercise. You have to get angry with this thing. Someone suppressed your anger. They didn't allow you to express anger. Like, you have to take the abuse and just swallow it. You couldn't get angry. You couldn't show any sort of resentment, nothing. Like a slave. Master whipping you, using you to get rich, abusing you, your children, your wife. You have nothing, and you're supposed to be smiling at this is sick as hell. This is a curse that was put on the family by slavery. I think this is cultural. This is not just one person. This is for the black community, the black culture, or any culture that experienced this type of slavery for a long period of time, for many generations. It wasn't just one generation. This was done over many generations to sort of complete the curse or the conjure. They wanted to make sure that this was passed down energetically. So it could have been 7 cycles, 7 generations. They wanted this to become tradition and culture. This self-defeating energy, this venom energy. I hate my kids. I'm jealous of my own children. I resent them for being born. If it wasn't for them, my life would be better. That kind of energy. That's very prevalent in certain communities in America and around the world. There is no safe space for children in your home, in your family, and or in your community. That's the problem. Let's continue, Spirit guides. How can the collective break free from this prison, this energetic prison, psychological, emotional, physical, self-inflicted? How can they break free of this? What do they need to do? Queen of Swords, cutting away from the past. Cutting the past out, being logical, rational, clear-minded, getting out of your feelings. This could also be a therapist or counselor. This Queen of Swords cuts through the fog of the moon, the fog of Neptune. Now, Saturn's exalted in Libra. And Saturn is here. And this is about justice, about fairness, about balance. Some of you guys may seek justice. And if these people are dead, your justice will probably come from you doing the very things that these people try to stop you from doing. This could even be a divorce, getting a divorce. If you're married to this person, divorcing yourself from this family dynamic, making a clean break, cutting away from this. Two of Wands, clean break. Get away from these people. Get away from your whatever situation that reminds you of this. You may have to stop talking to some people. You may have to stop talking to some people if they look like this. Look at this. This is fangs in the mouth. I mean, in the moon here, the quarter moon, which is like a square. There's challenges, blocks, restrictions. You not being able to express yourself emotionally or have healthy emotional relationships because of the way you were treated as a child. Someone has a lot of repressed anger. A lot. They may have Mars in the 12th house, Mars in debilitation, in Cancer or Libra. Mars square Neptune, aspecting Neptune, conjunction, square opposition. Mars in conjunction too to the moon and the sun. We have the Eight of Wands, which is communication, and Three of Swords. You are being re-triggered every day. But I don't think this is something that is happening actively. You're not being re-triggered by conversations. You may be, because you may still be in contact with these people. But if you're not in contact with these people, you're being re-triggered by the memories of what happened. These are like thoughts, emotions, sensations, memories that are coming through, and it's like they're triggering you. Or again, if you're in communication with these people and there's always conflict and they're always opening that wound, you may have to walk away from that situation. I'm seeing you walking away from them or cutting these people off to find yourself and to live your own life. Ten of Cups, yes. Find yourself and live your own life. And to heal. You have to break away from this family dynamic. Your family may have a lot of narcissists, a lot of jealous, slave-minded people. People who are tormented by their own demons, their own jealousy, their own insecurity. These people mean you no good, or they're not good for you right now. You got to put up some boundaries. Queen of Swords. Clap for the Queen of Swords and the Two of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy, which is ruled by Jupiter. Pisces energy, which is also ruled by Jupiter, Neptune. Optimism and hope, the Emperor. And a father figure, an authority figure. Ending your relationship with that. Yes, this could be an ex-husband or a father figure who is very controlling and abusive. Cut that off. Six of Pentacles. You know why? Because this is what I mentioned before, cutting this off. You feel guilty every time you try to do something for yourself. It's the subconscious guilt, and it becomes self-sabotage. You intuitively know that your parents or these people, your exes, whatever, they were jealous of you, and you were trained and conditioned to be a people pleaser, Queen of Swords. So now you can't be happy unless everybody else is happy first. You can't be happy unless your parents are happy. You can't do it. So whenever you have an opportunity to do something for yourself, you'll self-sabotage or look to them for approval. And more than likely, they'll tell you shouldn't do something, or they'll tell you something that is in their best interest. The advice they're giving you serves them more than it does you. Don't ask them for anything. Don't ask for advice, guidance. If you make mistakes, do that on your own. Stay away from these people. You got to divorce these people. Either it's your husband or your spouse or parents. Judgment. Making a judgment call. A final decision. This has to go. The World card is here too. Self-reflection, self-awareness. After spending a lot of time alone, and understanding what's really been going on here, you're seeing that, okay, this is a problem that needs to be resolved in a different way. I can't make these people happy. I can't make them love me. I can't make them accept me. Whenever I speak to them, they're always, negative, or they block me. They're jealous. And they may not want to be, because, it looks bad when you're jealous of your own relatives, but they're possessed by some sort of spirit. Both spiritually and psychologically, this is something that was passed down through the bloodline. It's like some sort of curse. Clarify the Ten of Cups in the Star card, please. Ten of Cups in the Star card. Page of Pentacles. New beginnings. Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Nine of Cups. This is you doing what you want to do for yourself. You doing you. Right? Feeding your inner child. Don't be concerned about how your actions, how your life is affecting other people. That's not their business. 10 to 9 of Cups, self-love. 7 of Cups, the Fool card. A whole new cycle, world and a fool. Leave these people alone. You need to reparentify yourself, making a choice between two paths. You can continue on the same path of trying to please people who are low-key jealous of you or resentful of you because you live in a life that they want to live. You have freedoms they never got to enjoy. You got money that they never had. Now they feel like you owe them because they had to sacrifice their youth for you, something like that. Queen of Cups, this is you. Moon card, 10 of Wands, emotional baggage. This is the Cancer card, the mother, the family, home dynamics, tradition, culture, ancestry, old baggage from past lives and previous generations that have nothing to do with you, and you have become the victim of this. And I don't want to use the word victim, but you've been under attack, spiritual and or psychic attack from your relatives and people who are supposed to love you. Their jealousy towards you overrides their love for you. So they may say they love you, but they're more jealous of you than not. There's something that you're doing that triggers them to the point where it overrides their love for you. The jealousy, the resentment. So it's like they don't want you to get too big, right? Being too big for your britches. Get too conceited, too big-headed, too successful. That's going to threaten them in some way. So you're always like making compromises and negotiating with these people who are never satisfied, who always want more because they're jealous. That is the way for you to get out of this, is to break free. End the cycle with these people. The Fool card. No baggage, no connections, no memories, no obsession, no concern. These people are not concerned about how the way they're treating you is affecting you. But you're more concerned about them, about how they feel about what you're doing. You have more concern for them than they do you. And they don't care about you. Or they don't care about you as much as you care about them. So you are more concerned about the welfare and the well-being of people who don't care about you than the people who don't care about you are. So it's like, I want this person who I don't care about to treat me better than they treat themselves. A slave. I want my slaves to be loyal to me, to love me, to worship me while I'm beating them, raping them, robbing them, exploiting them. I want them to love. This is black magic. And it's not always, again, candle magic and hoodoo, voodoo and evil. It's not always that. It doesn't have to be that. This is black magic. Slavery was black magic. And it is a form of black magic. Because you're stealing somebody's life force. You're forcing them into servitude to enrich you at the expense of their own life. You're stealing their destiny. That's black magic. So, unfortunately, if you come from a black American culture or you're from the diaspora, more than likely you're a victim of black magic. And the black magic spell is being perpetuated by the older generations onto the younger ones. It's being transferred or projected onto the younger generations. So now, when it's time for you to spread your wings and fly, here come the fangs, the hate, the jealousy, the arguments, the resentment, the bitterness, the conflict. For what? You don't have the right to live your own life like they did? No, they want to keep you in a box. Like a slave. People are corny as hell. The box. When light, structure, order, coherence, logic. Queen of Swords. Right? Having a structured and organized life that is serving you, not anybody else. Putting your own needs first. Taking care of your business. Here, there's no balance. The box is becoming like a prison because you're giving more than you're receiving from these people. When dark, limitation, rigidity, judgment, and fear. Limitation, rigidity, judgment, and fear. Like a damn hyena. Richard Sierra, 1 ton prop, House of Cards. Moving outside of the box is exhilarating and expansive, but destabilizing others will wonder, what? Okay. Moving outside of the box is exhilarating and expansive, but destabilizing others will wonder what you are doing and why you will too. This is part of the process. But destabilizing others will make you wonder what you're doing and why you will too. I don't know what this is. This is part of, right. So when you become the Fool card and you break free from the past, this is going to cause instability to other people because their happiness, their peace of mind is contingent upon them being able to control you in some way. So when they lose control over you, they lose control over themselves. A vampire. They need you to survive. Your energy, your life force, your presence, your support, your resources to survive. So now that is why they programmed you into submitting to them, being subservient, always thinking about them before you think about yourself. Putting you in the box to control you for their own benefit. Forget your life. It's not about you. It's about what they want. Everything within the box is known, aka familiar. Everything outside the box is unknown. That is why it is more comfortable to stay within its walls. Choose freedom. Didn't I say this? And I didn't read this book. Like I said, this is a new deck for me, but I don't want to read the meanings until I interpret the meanings in my own way, based on my own intuition. So, yeah, some of you guys are comfortable here. You're comfortable in this box, being controlled and manipulated, but you're very angry. You're very angry and you're repressing it. It's going to turn into depression if you don't let it out in some way. Okay? We all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, like your spouse or your family, anticipated and expected. It holds us in a place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. And I asked a question earlier, what do you need to do to get unstuck? So the familiar is keeping you stuck. Your family, your loved ones, the false sense of security you have from this toxic dynamic, that's keeping you stuck. And you may see the world as a big bad wolf or a bad place, not trusting anything, not trusting yourself. It's like a horror movie. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. Black magic, generational curses, the moon, fourth house energy, instinctual energies, unconscious, the subconscious mind, the womb, the mother, childhood, the undercurrents of your psychic abilities, or your psychic the undercurrents of your psychology. Psychological manipulation. Pluto is here. Pluto and Saturn together, maybe, and the moon, maybe. It is built of layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Not just layers from this life, but also past lives, generational curses. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. You have to be brave to do this, to face this damn dog, this hating ass dog, to face the teeth and the bitterness and the jealousy of the people who need you to stay in this box for their benefit. It's coming. They're going to fight back. Why are you fighting hard to control my life? That's what you're going to ask yourself. And you're going to wonder, why are you fighting harder for me than you were for yourself? Why is it so important for me to live this way? For you. The box may appear as expectations from parents, a well-paying but heartless job, the pressure to look or behave like others, or simply to stay small. Didn't I say this made you small as hell? Or was that in the previous reading? That could have been the previous reading for today. And that's why I mentioned that I'm reading the same things over and over again. The same messages from the same people over and over. There is a box around you now made of some type of confining thought that's causing confusion. What is it? What is the confining thought that is currently encompassing your life, or surrounding you, or limiting you in some way? What is that? That's what's keeping you stuck. The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another one will present itself to you. Keep going. Break through. An exquisite life requires it. An exquisite life, the life of your dreams, that your parents may or may not have been able to enjoy, that your spouse may not want you to have. It's almost like being married to somebody who, you both are high school graduates. 5 years into the marriage, you want to get your degree in psychology, whatever. You want to go back to college. This person's triggered. Why you want to go back to school? Our lives are good as it is. You want to get your degree so you can leave me. You can do better than me. And then they start to sabotage your education. Something like that, where they become an enemy within your home. This is Mars in the fourth house too. A hating spouse, hating relatives, hating siblings, whatever, hating parents. Next one, the Venom, and I'm done. I'm looking forward to reading this Venom card because this is very intense. I got a really nasty energy from it. We have the Venom, which is also Scorpio, Pluto, the Snake, the Venom. When light, self-realization through suffering. You went through hell. Some of you guys did, some of you didn't. But you went through hell in this situation. It caused some mental health issues, potentially. Post-traumatic stress disorder, things of that nature. When dark, unwillingness to find a solution or forgive. A victim mentality. I'm going to stay stuck in this box, blaming other people for what they've done to me, And they did do it, but that was 20, 30, 40 years ago. Go Deeper. A Poison Tree by William Blake. A Poison Tree. Please read that. The spreading of the venom is like a chain reaction. When we strike others, it is likely we have ourselves been struck. It is likely we have ourselves been struck. Break the cycle. Generational cycle. Intergenerational. Probably back from slavery. This is hundreds of years. Especially if you have Pluto in the 4th house, or Pluto in the South Node, or Moon Pluto aspects. This is multiple generations of hating as people in your family who were jealous because they could not live the life they wanted to live due to oppression, Jim Crow, slavery, and things of that nature. That black magic. Racism is black magic, if you don't know. Because now I can project ideas and a reality onto you based on just my word. Based on how you look. That's it. You don't have to do anything. The whole world's treating you like crap because of how you look. Or your race. Where you come from. That is black magic. That was the only way that these occultists could defeat the original race. The only way. To have the whole world, again, I guess, turned against them in some way. For doing nothing. Your very existence is a problem. That's the spell. I'm going to hate you for how you look. You don't have to do anything. You could be a saint. It doesn't matter. Everything you do is worthless at this point. So now you're living your life trying to prove something to me. And I'm inferior to you in some way. I'm not as smart as you are. Not as talented. Not as athletic. But here you are trying to prove your value to me. That's black magic. When you harm another, you harm yourself. And that's what's been happening in your family. And to you. Keep in mind, this goes for our earth as well, with cosmic consequences. Some of you guys think that by hurting yourselves, you're hurting the people who you think care about you. They don't care about you like that. Like, this is like almost like somebody who is self-destructive as a cry for help. But the people who abuse you want to see you crash out. So you're actually making them feel better about themselves. Right? I'm not going to be successful to punish my spouse or my parents for what they did to me. But that's not hurting them. It's actually hurting you. So you're hurting yourself, hoping that other people will suffer for what you're doing to yourself, abusing yourself, wasting your opportunities. They feel less threatened if you're not at your best. These haters around you feel less threatened when you are small, not successful, insecure, fearful, deferential to them. They feel more empowered. They're not threatened by you. This is whack energy, yo. Much to our dismay, the venom is always lurking in the shadows in one form or another. Its toxic presence may be found in our relationships, thoughts, speech, or environment. Thankfully, the cycle of purification and detoxification comes so naturally that it is built into our every exhale. We breathe out carbon dioxide and the plants return it to us as oxygen. Archetypal venom is rarely remedied as easily, however, and it can come in potent forms and quantities that are deeply damaging to us in the world, devouring your own children. For your security, for your stability, for your sense of self-worth. To feel like you didn't fail. If my kids don't do better than me, that means that I'm not a failure. Not wanting your children to be successful or more successful than you. This is, ooh, let me not get upset. When the venom card appears, there is a harmful substance in our psychic realm. That's what I wanted to say earlier. Psychic realm. That is, that must be identified. Perhaps your words have a sting of poison about them. Perhaps a relationship is slowly draining your reserves. Acknowledgement is the first step. Change is the second. The remedy will reveal itself in time, and with it, forgiveness. Let go of these people. Forgive them for who they are. Don't expect them to change. Don't expect them to change. Don't expect them to apologize. Their apology means nothing to you. Nothing. It's not going to change anything. Honestly, whether they mean it or not, it means nothing at the end of the day. All that matters is what you're going to do. What are you going to do about this box? Because you're miserable and stuck. And you've been stuck and miserable for many years, I'm going to say. In this dynamic here, waiting for someone to rescue you or save you from yourself, from your own fear, from your own... Some of you guys are exhausted. You're exhausted. And chill out with the drugs and the alcohol. That's not giving you more energy. It's actually making you more tired and distracted and confused. It's not helping anything. You guys have to be clinical about this. Literally or figuratively. Going to therapy, but also being very methodical, intentional, organized, strong, brave, informed. Doing this, like, you have to be surgical about extricating this from your life. Surgical. It's going to require a lot of psychological perusing, exploration, reflection, assessment. Because this is brainwashing. This is literally brainwashing. You may feel guilty for being happy or for being successful living your own life or being pretty or smart. And I'm going to say this. I don't want to offend anybody. You got to get to the point where you say, I don't give a F about my family. I don't care about their approval. I don't give a F. I don't want to say the whole word. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Don't feel bad about them or for them. They'll be fine. They were fine the whole time. Before you got into this world, they were fine. It's not your job to save them. It's not your job to not trigger them. That's not your responsibility. That's not your responsibility to make sure they don't get triggered by your success. That's not your responsibility. If they're triggered by you, that's their fault. And yes, they may give you the evil eye and say hateful things towards you. They may do that. It is your job to protect yourself from their machinations, from their plots and their schemes. That's your job and your responsibility to do too. But don't feel bad about it. As long as you have an emotional attachment to these people, your life will continue to be stuck. You'll feel stuck. They didn't love you. They don't love you. They never did. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. I love the people who beat me down like a dog. I love them more than myself. Stockholm Syndrome. They beat me down. Now I'm attached to them. They hate me, so I love them. Some of you guys confuse abuse with love. You need to read Willie Lynch's letter as well, and read about some of the slave narratives and how they psychologically and emotionally and spiritually programmed the slaves into hating themselves and loving their masters as a form of energy transfer to enrich the slave masters' families and their bloodlines at the expense of the slaves, who had the most power, actually, who still do, but they don't know it. They were trained to be afraid of themselves. It's like they were trained to be afraid of success because it would spark the jealousy or it would incite the jealousy of the slave masters. Slave masters were, or racists were always attacking black people who were successful. And so you were conditioned not to want to be successful because they'll get jealous of you. That's not your that's not your effing problem. How they feel about it. Anybody, I don't care what race they are. Parents, siblings, it doesn't matter. That's where this comes from. This comes from racial jealousy and slavery. And your family was a victim of that, and they passed that down generation to generation. Now, instead of the white man attacking you for success, they're doing it for you so that you won't be a target of their racism. But that's those laws are gone. It's like someone's in a bardo. This is the north node, the south node, the moon. This is ancestral karma. The people were programmed, black people were programmed to tear each other down for fear of retribution by jealous white people who were living in their homes with them. How dare you be tall, handsome, brilliant, strong, gorgeous, intelligent? You're supposed to be a slave. How dare you have more than me? As they always say, the greatest revenge or the greatest weapon is success. Get your revenge on this damn demon here for your ancestors' sake. Get your revenge. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for listening. Look forward to your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.